A cursed wedding. What mystical force dragged the young fiancé into the other world? And who summoned the entity? Don't miss out. The clairvoyants will reveal the secret of a deadly love triangle. This is Psychic Investigations. There are only true and impressive stories here. People who call themselves clairvoyants investigate intricate criminal cases and shocking paranormal phenomena. On March 8, 2019, this young man arrived at his girlfriend's house with a bouquet of 101 roses. In the presence of her mother, he got down on one knee and proposed to her.
She agreed. She said yes.
However, the wedding never took place. The day after the proposal, Tetiana, his fiancée, ended up in the intensive care unit and soon died.
It's so difficult without her.
The grief-stricken parents believe an otherworldly force took their daughter to the beyond, because nobody dies that suddenly, being only 21. The mother asks the psychics to come and unravel this mystery.
Who, why, and how? My husband and I can't find the answers alone.
According to the mother, on March 9th, her daughter was cheerful and happy. She and her fiancé were discussing their upcoming wedding at home when, all of a sudden, she pointed in front of her as if she saw someone invisible.
She looked at me like that. Look, she said, pointing her finger, and then she fainted.
After that, terrible seizures began.
The ambulance rushed her to the intensive care. They first diagnosed meningitis, and then said it was meningoencephalitis. Some doctors said the former, and the others the latter.
Tetiana's condition worsened every day. The doctors couldn't provide any prognosis. They claimed it was an anomaly they couldn't explain.
Professors and specialists from Kiev arrived, and they even consulted foreign medics. But nobody could find the cause.
Desperate to save her daughter, the mother even invited priests to the hospital.
We brought in 5 priests. They said the doctors could do nothing, as the reason she was there was not medical.
Until the very end, Tetiana's parents and fiancé believed that their beloved girl would wake up.
We hoped she'd open her eyes, and everything would be fine.
But the miracle didn't happen. Tetiana never emerged from her coma. 2 weeks later, on April 3rd, her heart stopped beating. She was 21.
She died in our arms. We never left her side. Her heart simply stopped.
The mother dressed her daughter in a wedding gown, but not for the wedding, but for the funeral. And her fiancé kissed her, but she was lying in the coffin, lifeless. But what's most horrifying is that just 4 years before that, Tetiana's mother buried her elder son, Serhiy. He had a wife and a little daughter left.
His blood pressure increased rapidly. He collapsed next to his car, and then seizures started. Then he slipped into a coma, and that was it.
He suffered a stroke at only 26 years old, and like his sister, he experienced strong seizures and slipped into a coma before passing away. The woman lost her both children, barely in their 20s, and she describes it as living through true hell. Now, she can only talk to them at the cemetery.
My precious son, my dear children, now you are both gone. Our darling children, both are gone.
The mother suspects that her son took her daughter away, claiming that before the tragedy, on the night of March 8th, Tetiana saw her deceased brother in a dream. She woke up in tears.
I asked her, "What's the matter?" And she said, "Mom, I had a dream of Serhiy. He said he wanted 30 white roses." I said, "Well, he would be 30 on May 3rd. Maybe that's why he asked for the 30 white roses."
But in her dream, Tetiana told her brother, "On the 3rd day, there will be 21 roses of different colors." At that time, no one could guess what it meant.
And she passed away on April 3rd, exactly a month before his birthday.
On Tetiana's grave, Mikhailo put a bouquet of 21 roses of different colors that represented her age. The mother doesn't understand why Serhi would take away his sister or why such tragedy befell their family.
I would appreciate it if the psychics came and helped us understand the reason.
2 psychics from our project, Olena Kurilova and Rubina Tsibulska, agreed to help.
Last night, I tuned in to the photos of the deceased brother and sister. And then I woke up in the middle of the night and saw Tetiana's spirit in front of me. She said the wedding was cursed. I see 2 wax dolls of the bride and the groom. I see someone tear off the head of the groom's figure right before the wedding.
Like voodoo dolls, looks like a curse. Hello.
Hello?
God, hello. I've been looking forward to your arrival. My name is Tetiana. Please come with me.
You suspect that your son took your daughter away.
Yes,
Do you have his personal items left?
I do. I took these from the hospital. It's all I have left from him.
After Serhi died, he didn't only visit his sister, but also you. You saw him.
I saw him at home. It sent shivers down my spine.
Tetiana says she spent 2 sleepless nights at the hospital by her son's side while he was in a coma, and on the 3rd night, she went home to rest for at least a few hours.
I was lying awake. Then I saw him come into the room. He walked around the room and then went out through the window. And then they called me and said he died.
Your son keeps coming back to this world because of his little daughter. He's worried about her. She's in danger, just like your son and daughter.
But why?
Serhi didn't take his sister to the other world. He appeared in her dream to warn her about the danger. Your children are victims of the same force, and I sense that their deaths are connected to a woman. Your son is here. He's embracing you, Tetiana. He said, "Save my daughter," and then he vanished.
I just can't understand why or who could do such things.
Quiet.
I think I heard something.
The voice is young and clear.
My Tetiana?
She's over there. Come on. She's calling us in there.
This is Tetiana's room.
Tetiana, come to us. She's here.
My Tetiana? No one touched it. She stood in the middle of the room, but the curtain swayed and the candle flickered immediately.
She sang softly.
Tetiana, my baby.
You talked to me, but I couldn't respond. You said everything would be fine.
I told her, everything will be fine, Tetiana.
Your daughter senses that her fiancé is nearby. She says, "Call Mikhailo."
Mikhailo arrived to find out from the psychics who killed his fiancée.
She says, "You made me happy." She's grateful to you for your care and love.
Be brave.
I can't live without you. I can't accept that you're no longer with us.
She says she loves the ring you gave her.
The ring with a little gem, just as she wanted.
Did you put it in her coffin?
Yes.
She says, give it to him. What does she mean?
It's probably for Mikhailo.
This?
Thanks.
She says, I didn't have time to give it to you.
It turns out that before her death, Tetiana prepared a gift for Mikhailo, which only her mother knew about.
She says, find the strands to live. Find the strands. And be happy. For her.
I will. I'll do it for her.
Tetiana's spirit showed me a young woman kneeling and saying something about a child. And I also heard her say, don't take him away.
At that moment, I heard the voice of Tetiana's daughter. She said, look for the woman who didn't want the wedding. Tetiana, I see you're not feeling well. Let's go outside for some fresh air.
What's that?
Your daughter's spirit wants me to look in the mirror.
She probably wants to add something.
I see a groom and a bride in the mirror. 2 wax dolls. The male figure seems to be missing its head. I saw this image earlier today. What is it?
My son was married. There was a large wedding cake, and we bought those figurines. They were made of wax, the bride and the groom. We put them on the cake, but the groom's head broke off.
The woman says that her daughter-in-law's mother was responsible for decorating the cake, and she still doesn't understand what happened to the groom's figurine.
I mentioned to Rubina this morning that this resembles voodoo magic.
Look for the woman who didn't want the wedding. Could the spirit mean your daughter-in-law's mother?
Once, we were entertaining them at home. I was running around carrying plates, and she probably didn't expect me to come in. My daughter-in-law, Maria, was there, and her mother said, don't worry, darling. All of this will be yours, the house and everything in it.
So she told her daughter all your property would be hers, right?
Yes.
That's a twist. Well, if she killed your entire family, then indeed, all your property would be hers. Could it be a curse on your family then?
She told me, your Tetiana won't live past 20. And I said, why are you saying such things to me?
This is awful. Serhi's spirit warned us that his daughter was in danger. Perhaps it's because she lives with that woman. Where does she live?
It's not far from here. I'm afraid.
We'll talk to her first.
Only Oksana, the mother of Tetiana's daughter-in-law, and her granddaughter live in the house. After her husband's death, the girl's mother went to work abroad.
Hello.
Hello.
Tetiana asked us for help.
Where is she?
She's here.
Could I see her then?
Tetiana.
Why did you tell Tetiana her daughter would soon die and all her property would be your daughter's?
That's what you said at my home.
My God, what are you talking about?
I heard you say to your son-in-law, you should be grateful you're still alive.
And I said that?
You did.
I want to know why my son went to you as a healthy man, but then died out of a sudden.
What are you talking about?
Oksana, how about the wedding cake? With the groom's figurine, what happened to its head? Did you do something using magic?
No.
But I see that you did practice magic.
I've never done anything bad to anyone in my life.
You told me my Tetiana wouldn't live past 20.
How did you know that?
It was just intuition.
Give me your hand.
Sure.
Excuse me, but what you call intuition is commonly known as the black tongue. It's when you blurt something out without thinking, and it comes true.
Well, yes, I won't deny.
That woman didn't do anything bad to Tetiana's family, but she needs to be very careful about what she says. Despite your words, you loved Serhi as your own son.
We loved him so much. Our souls were dedicated to him.
And you're very sorry such a tragedy occurred to his sister. But you can't come to terms with Tetiana.
It's impossible.
It's hard for her. She's devastated. Her children are gone. She has only her granddaughter left, but the girl lives in your house.
This girl has left 2 grandmothers and a mother. You need to find reconciliation.
Let go of old grudges. You should support Tetiana in her grief, and she needs to see the girl.
Sure, no problem.
Tetiana is happy. She can now embrace her granddaughter, Alina, again. Seeing her grandmother from the yard, the little girl runs up to her.
I love you so much, and I never forget you. The ring.
It's my ring. It simply slipped off my finger. This ring wasn't too big, and it never slipped off my finger before.
I lost my wedding ring this morning. Now your ring has fallen off.
Tetiana is here.
For some reason, her spirit keeps pointing us to rings.
I don't understand why the ring.
Your daughter is pointing at this ring.
It's my wedding ring.
The answer is in it. Someone didn't want your wedding. But who?
My husband's first wife.
Did she ask you to return him?
Yes, she did, but I didn't want him. I even told her to keep him. I didn't want him, and I didn't steal him from her.
Tetiana met her current husband sometime after her first marriage ended. Her son was 3 years old. Vasil gave her a lift in his car, and he fell head over heels in love at first sight. Back then, he was already married, but he said he was planning to divorce because his wife constantly caused him scandals.
He didn't have a normal life with her, but once he filed for a divorce, she suddenly told him she was pregnant.
Tetiana is sure that the woman simply tried to keep her husband, and it worked, because he didn't leave his wife due to her pregnancy. However, Vasil still loved Tetiana and dreamed of being with her, even though she didn't want to hear about it.
He would come to visit me, but I would scold him. You have a wife, a family.
But the man left his family a year after his son was born anyway.
He said, I won't live, but I won't give up on you. We got married the next year, on January 12th.
Vasil raised Tetiana's son as his own. 3 years later, they had a daughter, but both their children eventually died.
Both deaths are related to weddings. The son died shortly after getting married, and the daughter died after the engagement. Could this be the revenge of the abandoned woman because Vasil married someone else?
She came here. She knelt before the icons. I said, Oksana, I'm not running after him. If you love him, take him.
Was she pregnant when she knelt?
Yes, but it wasn't obvious yet.
A pregnant woman who is willing to humble herself to win back her husband is capable of many things.
The name of the first wife of Tetiana's husband, just like that of the mother of her daughter-in-law, is also Oksana. When the clairvoyants arrived at her home, it was already dark.
No one's home.
Later, through other people, Tetiana found out that the woman had gone abroad a few days ago.
Let's go outside.
Tetiana found Oksana's photo on social media. We won't show it due to ethical considerations.
Let me have a look. Here you are. Was there any magic from Oksana? Were there any magical actions directed at Tetiana or her children? There was no magic.
I can hear her shout. She's saying terrible things to you.
Yes, it happened. May you be cursed, and may your children die. She said a lot of things like that.
She shouted, if you marry, your life won't be worth living.
Yes, she did.
I sense that this outcry of pain from the offended woman turned into a curse, and it was what caused the deaths of your children. Due to the unique energy of the pregnant woman, her curse holds immense power. The curse affected all the weddings in your family. That's why your son's marriage and your daughter's engagement became fatal for them.
It was a cry from the soul, an emotional outburst of tears and pain.
She didn't really wish for everything to turn out this way.
But once the words were pronounced, the mechanism was set in motion.
We need to neutralize the curse so it doesn't threaten your granddaughter. We need to perform a ritual. For that, I'll need water from a natural source.
Please give me your wedding ring. Since Tatiana's wedding triggered the curse, we needed to neutralize it through the ring.
It's going to be your family talisman. Take it, Tatiana. Eventually, you'll pass this ring on to your granddaughter. This girl is the continuation of your lineage. Give her all the love you didn't have time to give your children, and your home will be filled with laughter and joy again.
It's such a relief. Life seemed meaningless before, but now there's hope. Thank you so much. At least I'll be able to go on living now.
An incredibly tragic story. Who would have thought that the tears and curses of the pregnant woman could lead to such consequences? If you're impressed by the story, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. Many more amazing investigations are coming up.